Hello and welcome back. This is week 3 of the She Reigns podcast, and I'm your host, Shanika, where we are talking about life. Okay? We're being real about life, about being a woman, being a mother, and just being a human being in this world. So, again, week 3, and this topic is protecting your peace. Now, y'all. I have my notes because guess what? My mind cannot remember everything I want to say. Okay? And that's all right. So today, saying no without guilt, boundaries, and balance. Saying no without guilt, boundaries, and balance. As a woman, we juggle a lot of stuff from work, family, self-care. We have to balance it all. And I'm going to be the first one to say, after working all day long, I don't feel like coming home and cooking food every single day. And I'm like, do they have to eat every day? It's a lot to balance, right? And so we have to learn how to navigate through all that we have to balance. It can be a struggle. And so we as women have to learn how to set our boundaries. We also have to know that burnout is real. Burnout is a real thing, and we have to allow ourselves time to rest. Now, I'm going to share something. I'm being kind of personal here. I have been told that I do not know how to rest. Shanika is always doing something to keep herself busy, and she rarely ever rests. And that's true. I do keep myself busy doing things, but I recognize that. And so now I am trying to work on including self-care within that, taking a nap when I can during the day, or just vegging out and just being. So the whole point is we have to first recognize that we have an issue before we can work on said issue. Remember, earlier we talked about creating goals for ourselves. And so you have to know burnout is real. You have to first ask yourself, what is causing me to burn out? Recognize that issue, and then allow yourself permission to rest. Now, rest does not always mean that we are sleeping. Rest can be just not doing. But we have to allow ourselves time to rest. And we should not feel bad communicating that we need rest, because that does not make us selfish. A lot of times, things that are protecting our peace, that's giving us our premium value for that peace, can be seen as being selfish, but it's not. You have to allow yourself to get rest. That is not being selfish. I watched a Christmas movie that was on Lifetime with Brandy. I forget the name of it. Her name was Fancy in the movie, Francine, and she was always taking care of everyone else in her family, her mom, her sisters, her boyfriend, everybody. And she neglected herself. And so when she realized what she was doing after a conversation with a potential new beau, she told her family that she needed them. See, everyone will be there. They will allow you to be their go-to as long as you continue to be their go-to. You have to recognize when you need help. And so she told her sisters, I'm tired. I need you. And they told her, yes, you're always there for us, but who is there for you? And so we have to be an advocate for ourselves. We have to be the ones to advocate for what we need. Might that seem selfish to other people? It might, but guess what? If you're not selfish for yourself, then no one else is going to ask what you need or even allow you to take that break that you genuinely need. So you need to always pause and give yourself the rest and put up those boundaries. It's not about being mean, not about acting a funny kind of way. Boundaries are there for a reason, to help preserve you. And real talk, guilt. You may experience guilt, and guilt may eat away at you like none other. But that also goes hand in hand with being a people pleaser. If you try to please everyone, no one is being pleased. If you try to please everyone, no one is being pleased, even yourself. So we have to learn it's okay to say no. We have to learn to let guilt wash away and not stick on us, and have those boundaries. We have to understand that the way that our parents, our grandparents, great-grandparents lived is not the way that we're living today. I was very fortunate to know not only my great-grandparents, but my grandparents as well, on both sides. And my maternal grandmother, she cooked food every single day. She was there in the home doing things. She was there for her grandchildren, her children, community people, church members. She was there for everybody. And I can't for the life of me figure out how she did all that stuff. And you know what? I have often found myself trying to emulate those same things that she had done in the past. You know, my girls were younger. I was doing their hair on Saturday before church on Sunday. I was cooking my Sunday meal on Saturday. You know, those were things that I saw growing up. And so when you see things that your parents or grandparents did, you sometimes automatically do those very same things. But we have to come to a point in our lives, whether it was good, bad, indifferent, or whatever, we have to understand that we are not them and they are not us. Just because mama, grandma, and everybody else did it, does that mean that I have to do it? Now, yes, cooking my dinners on Saturday makes my life so much easier on Sunday, because I just come home, pop it in the oven, and I'm done. But I'm not saying that all the things they did were bad. However, what I am saying is we have to sit down for a minute and think about how we may be able to add some of those things to our lives. But we cannot compare ourselves to them and say, I have to do it like that. Because the world is so much different. Back then, there was no internet. There was no seeing everybody's homes and seeing what they were doing and seeing how they were meal prepping and da-da-da-da-da. None of that was there. And so their life was theirs. And so they didn't have to compare themselves to anybody else or think they had to do what the Joneses did. But at the same time, they made it work. And I think sometimes in today's world, we may get so consumed and take in so much stuff, we forget about the basics. Set those boundaries. Don't feel guilty. We don't have to do everything that they did in the past, because the world is different. Times are changing. You have kids in soccer, piano, track, volleyball, baseball, and you are the one that is taking them to all these places. Now, if you're tired from doing that, then guess what? Set a boundary. Does Junior have to be in everything? Does he? Does Junior have to be in every single sport? Now, we do want our children to be well-rounded. We sure do. However, we also need to remember we have to still be able to be functional in our homes for our kids when these sports are done. Set your boundaries. Don't feel guilty about saying no. Join a carpool if it helps out, but do things that are working for you, and stop trying to please these people in 2026. Stop trying to please these people in 2026. People pleasing does nothing for you. only for the person that you are pleasing. You will lose. You will not be any better by continuing to please everyone else. Now, if this touched you, be sure to like and subscribe and follow me here. Also, if you have a question or a comment, feel free to email me at shereigns, REIGNS, podcast@gmail.com. We're in this thing together. Life, as I say, be lifing sometimes, but we can make do with what we have, and we can come together, cultivate your community so you feel supported. So remember, take a breath, say a prayer, always say a prayer. Fix your crown because you're built for this chaos. Take care. See you later.